Every November marks National Adoption Month, a chance to acknowledge families blessed by the gift of adoption and to raise awareness of the need for both foster and adoptive families. To discuss this next topic, our guest brings us both his personal and professional lens on adoption. EWTN's own Dr. Ray Guarendi of the Doctor Is In radio show and Living Right with Dr. Ray television program is a Catholic clinical psychologist who is also an adoptive father of 10 children. Dr. Ray, it is so good to have you, and I'm sure we could speak at length about your family's own personal adoption journey, but do you mind first summarizing how you and your wife discerned to adopt 10 children at that?
I came home from Cleveland Clinic. They said, if you have children conceived, go on TV talk shows. Well, Catherine, in sort of a way, I am on a TV talk show with you guys. So, in fact, we said, hopefully we can adopt one, maybe two. And we realized at that time, if you're willing to go across race, or if you're willing to adopt more than one at a time, or older kids, or special needs kids, you can get them a lot quicker.
That's beautiful, and we're seeing these beautiful photos of your family right now. And as you mentioned, you and your wife did adopt children from various backgrounds and ethnicities. Can you speak to what your experience of specifically interracial adoption has been like for your family?
Absolutely no difference whatsoever, Catherine. Initially, I got from the supposed experts that if we were to adopt a child outside of our race, we were going to have cultural issues. Well, those never came to pass because those children were our children. We were their mom and their dad, and we were not going to overthink the idea that one may have had more pigment in their skin than I do. And that's the way we approached it.
As you and your wife discerned adoption, did you have any personal fears or hesitations about moving forward with it? And what advice, Dr. Ray, might you have for a viewer who has those hesitations or misconceptions right now?
I'll draw a parallel to young people who say, I don't think I want to have children. I look at other children and I'm just not moved by them. And then they have a child, and all of a sudden this child is on Facebook every 6 minutes. They underestimate how this child can crawl underneath your heart. Same thing with adoption. Well, I don't know. Do you think I'll be able to love a child that's not biologically mine? Yes, of course you can. Because in the main, that child becomes real. It's abstract before you adopt. But once that child is with you, that is your child. Completely. Now, the other thing that's a benefit here, Catherine, and I shared this with you, we found this out about the fourth kid. If you adopt in December, you still get the tax deduction for the whole year, you know? They paid for themselves that first year, right? I didn't pay any taxes.
That is some good insight right there, some good top advice. I'm curious on your answer to this question. Could you address, should every family consider adoption, particularly families struggling with infertility, for example, or is adoption truly a calling that a family needs to have and discern? What are your thoughts on that?
Some people will say, well, I don't feel called to adopt. Fair enough. But our Lord did say that this is our faith. They take care of the widows and the orphans in their distress. And he did say, whoever welcomes a little child welcomes me. So for Christians, it ought to be something we seriously consider, even if we've even had our own biological kids. Now, all that said, you got to take into consideration the state of your marriage, your finances, your age, your personality, your temperament. My wife said to me when we got to kid number 5 or 6, and we thought we were done, 5 or 6, that's a pretty good load. We'd have to buy a bigger car. She said, Ray, if not us, who? We have a good marriage. We have a good extended family. We've got the resources. We're not rich, but we have enough money to support a family. So if not us, who? So it's kind of like, Catherine, it's kind of like eating potato chips, We kept eating chips until we got a bellyache.
And now I bet you can't imagine your life without those children, those sons and daughters of yours. And Dr. Ray, of course, you have this professional lens as well, and on top of your personal perspective, because you are a clinical psychologist and you've written a number of books on adoption. What is your top advice as a psychologist that families should keep in mind if considering adoption?
My top advice as a psychologist is don't pay too much attention to the psychologists. We have scared adoptive parents. We make them feel as though this child has got to be handled differently than a biological child that's yours. We make them overthink. We make them overanalyze. We make them look for psychological issues that may or may not be there. I tell parents right out of the gate, this is your child. Raise this child with the love and the discipline that you would raise any child that is yours. Quit overthinking it, because overthinking can oftentimes be the very thing that causes the trouble.
And you don't want to fall into just a spirit of fear over this. Dr. Ray, any specific advice for Catholics navigating adoption agencies? Anything they should particularly keep an eye out for or keep in mind there?
It's tougher now, Catherine, than it used to be. When we adopted some 30 years ago, if you were willing to adopt across race, you could adopt tomorrow. Well, now the number of children available for adoption is dramatically less. And oftentimes these kids are at risk. They've been drug or alcohol exposed in the womb. They're from overseas institutions. They are older and they've been in multiple foster care placements. So these are kids that have had a tough time biologically in the womb and shortly thereafter. And I tell parents, brace yourself in case the kids give you a bumpier time growing up. That can happen. But you're still there as the parent. Some of my kids have been dramatically drug exposed. And as a result, it took them a lot harder to form a conscience. They were slower in developing. Okay, that's my kid. That's who I'm going to deal with. I recognize that. If they steal something from a drugstore, I'm going to deal with it. We bring it back, we handle it, we take care of it. I don't run screaming into the woods because they committed some behavior that I think, oh no, are they going to be on Springer now 22 years ahead? So that's the one thing I would tell parents. If you're going to jump into this wonderful, just know that if you have some turbulence in the child growing up, that's to be expected, and that's why you're there.
Well, that is some great advice. Dr. Ray, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.